Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're tuning in from. You're welcome to this week's Forex Outlook with Great White FX for the 25th to 29th of September 2023. As always, we're going to start off with the economic calendar before going into our bears. So we have some high impact news going into next week. We have final gross domestic product and unemployment claims on Thursday for the US dollar, and well, we don't have any rate news coming in this week. So that outside, we're going to start off with our pairs. So first, we're going to look at the pairs from the weekly point of view. If we look at, we're going to start off with the US 100. So looking at US 100, price for now is still tilted bearish on the weekly. If we go into the daily, you can see that price is still tilted to the downside. Liquidity below 1470.01 has been swept. If we go into the 4-hour time frame, we can see that price is at a significant swing low. So looking at this using the swing point, the possibility exists that we're going to see a retracement going into the new week. So that retracement, it might come up into this zone, this fair value gap on the 4-hour time frame. Price might retrace into there. Let's see if there's any fair value gap. Yes, there is a fair value gap here. So if we put in our annotations, we have this volume imbalance here. It's from the weekly time frame. We have this volume imbalance here. So why is that important? Since price has gone back below this volume imbalance, if it doesn't close above this volume imbalance going into next week, what am I trying to say? This is what you'll be waiting for. A possible retracement into this area and this for a move back to the downside. So going into this new week, there's a possibility this might retrace up into this area. Once it gets rejected, it has to close back below this volume imbalance to continue to the downside. If not, this volume imbalance can act as a support, and you're going to see something like this. I might see a little bit of a steeper retracement, probably into somewhere here, before price continues back to the downside. So for NASDAQ, for US 100, price is still tilted to the downside. Next, what we're going to be looking at is the dollar index. The dollar index is still bullish for now. As you can see, order flow and structure on this pair is still tilted to the upside. Going into this new week, the draw still remains 105.88. The draw still remains 105.88 on the weekly. On the daily, remember last week I talked about this volume imbalance on the daily. I said that before 105.88, we have this volume imbalance here, and that it might act as a little bit of a challenge for price breaking through it. Because we have volume imbalance here, then we have this here, which also lines up as with something like a fair value gap here. And you see, that's where price was capped. So going into this new week, jump to the 4-hour time frame. Going into this new week, the possibility exists that this might retrace a bit. It might retrace a bit before a continuation back to the upside. You might see a little bit of a retracement, but as long as price stays above 104.66, it's still going to continue back to the upside. So for dollar index, any down move on this pair would be an opportunity for longs. So the next one we're going to be looking at is the EURUSD. EURUSD is still bearish, but due to strong euro against the British pound, this has not been dropping that heavy. If we go into the GBPUSD, you will better understand what I'm trying to say. So looking at this structure-wise, this is still down. The possibility exists that this might retrace to fill in this volume imbalance and into this bearish fair value, bearish order block. So a retracement on this pair will be an opportunity for a long position first to 106.15, 105.77, then 105.16. So for the Euro USD, order flow on it is still to the downside. So if you look at what I was trying to explain on the GBPUSD, you see the way the GBPUSD dropped. That's because of a stronger EURGBP. So that would mean a weak pound that will send this lower faster. So looking at this is order flow on this pair. Let's look at it from the weekly. Order flow on this pair is still to the downside. Very clearly, we can see that this is probably where price might be going from. This weekly volume imbalance, as this swing low has been taken out by price. So if we go into the daily, let me put my annotations back. I have lots of annotations in the chart. So before that level, on the daily, let's go into the daily time frame. On the daily, we have a swing here. We have this swing point here on the daily. Then we have this volume imbalance. So looking at this, any retracement on this is going to be an opportunity for a short. So if we go into the 4-hour time frame, so this is the swing high, this is the swing low, these are daily range. So this is the 25% of that range, this is 50%, and this is 75%. So the possibility is that price may retrace up into any of these zones. If it gets rejected, then we'll be looking for this low first, 22.30, then 21.90, then before that daily fair value gap, which is below here. So the next one we're going to be looking at is gold. So looking at gold, gold is a little bit of indecisive to an extent. If we look at this from the weekly, we would notice that we had a week up last week, that's prior week, and a week down this week. So back to back, it's not a very good sign. Back to back, it's not a very good sign. So if we move down to the daily, we can see that price seems to have bounced off this, but price is not taking out the daily highs yet. We don't have a new high. Instead, price made the lower high, which points to the fact that they might still come for this. But going to the 4-hour time frame, if we go into the 4-hour time frame and we put in my annotations, let me remove my indicators. So remember last week I said we had this 4-hour range. Price broke to the low. This is the projection of this entire range. It turned out to be a false break, broke above, retested it heavily, and price has come back into that range. So for this pair, what I'll be waiting for is a rally. We'd like to see a rally, probably a rally, rejection, and then a move somewhere down. For now, gold is indecisive. It's basically indecisive. It has got to the projection of this range, and now it has come back into the range. So we can't say for now. So this is just basically what I'm looking for in gold, and then a move down. The next we're going to be looking at is EURGBP. EURGBP is still clearly bullish. Order flow on this pair is still bullish. I believe, if you notice, let's go to the monthly. Price has not tapped this monthly high, and I think it might still extend a bit higher. So if we go into the 4-hour time frame, it hasn't gotten to this level yet. So if we go to the daily time frame, I believe it may sweep this high. We have this consolidation here. Within this consolidation, we have this big 4-hour. We have within this daily chart here. We have, if you notice, this daily candle held 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 before it was broken. So this may extend into this box, and then a drop might be seen. So for this pair, it would sweep into this level. Once it gets rejected, then we might see a retracement back to the downside on this pair. But for now, this pair is still bullish. That is what we're expecting now. Is if it starts the week on Monday without spiking this high, then we know that we'll be looking for a retracement down and a continuation to the upside. But if it spikes into here, the drop, then we might see a weakness, a retracement to the downside. Because basically, if you look at this pair, you can see that it's just like in a range. It's just basically in a range from this point here to this point. So it might sweep here. If it doesn't go too far, then we might see a move back to the downside. But for now, short term to medium term, this is still bullish till it sweep 87.01 to 87.20 or thereabout. So the next we're going to be looking at is the pound yen. Order flow on this is tilting to the downside, but from this swing low at 17.6.32 to 18.6.77, price is at the equilibrium of that entire swing. So going into this new week, we might see a little bit of a retracement to the upside before a continuation down to probably this swing low at 180.45. So for the GBP, pound yen, any rally on this will be an opportunity for a continuation back to the downside. So we might see a little bit of a rally, then a rejection, and a continuation back to the downside, as we don't have any new high on this pair. Instead, price is making lower lows. So if you next but not the least is the euro yen. Looking at the euro yen, this pair is in a range. This pair is in a range. As we can see, price dipped into this 4-hour imbalance, 4-hour fair value gap, and bounced. So for going into this new week, this pair may still try to rally it, because for now there seems to be yen strength. There seems to be a little bit of yen strength, but due to EURGBP strength, this is not dropping. Because if you look at this pair and the pound yen, you can see that the pound yen is moving down. But if you look at the euro yen is consolidating. So if the yen strength is to continue, which it may, because if we look at the Nikkei, a bearish Nikkei is yen strength, while a bullish Nikkei is yen weakness. So if we look at this Nikkei from the daily, we can see that it has been on the downside, and we already have a breaker here, a high, a low, a higher high, and a close below this neckline. So we might see a little bit of yen weakness. That's a retracement here, which eventually would lead to a further downside. So what that means for these pairs is that this may show a little bit of strength before a continuation back to the downside. So that settles it for this week. Thank you all for taking your time to watch and attend. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe and like. Thank you all for taking your time. Wish you all a blessed weekend and a wonderful trading week ahead. Goodbye.